He looks like he owns credit. Oh my gosh. Man like Arthur from Batman.
Namaste, dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, privet. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Ken at 10. How are you? As usual, broadcasting to you live from SW16 Norbury, which is a fantastic little Zone 3 commuter area between Streatham to the north and Croydon to the south. Hope you're doing well. And every day we come live to tell you about what's going on both locally and nationally in the housing market. Locally, there's a lack of stock for sure, both on rentals and sales. What we're finding is that a lot of people think that there won't be any buyers out there. There are buyers out there. They are fewer and further between. And of course, it's peak holiday time. Lots of families are away. So you can't expect the volume of viewings that you might achieve in a normal market because these ain't normal times, my friend. They really aren't. But few national headlines, first of all. House prices rise at the slowest rate in 3 years. There's an article in the Times and the Independent. And Knight Frank have commented. Chris Drews from there says higher borrowing costs in the coming months will make it harder for buyers to plan, leading to further hesitation in the market. And that tends to be the trend across the whole of the market. That's what we're finding is there's a real kind of trepidation. People are worried, and it's understandably so. And then on the flip side of that, BBC News, Financial Times, and Daily Telegraph are reporting on rental prices again. Guess what? Record high. One of the problems is that landlords are selling up, as you probably know. The other problem is that landlords, where their mortgage rates are higher, are flipping to short-term lets, Airbnb and the like, where they can achieve higher yields to cope with the difference between the rental and their new mortgage payments. Now, onto mortgages. There's an article today in the Times and Telegraph about cheaper mortgages could be on the way. I'm a bit skeptical about this one. I think it's going to be a long way. What it says is that because of the inflation figures, which were better news than expected, they fell to 7.9% in June from 8.7% in May. And that is the lowest rate since March 22, and it exceeds analysts' expectations, which has to be a good thing. But food prices are rising less quickly, but they're still rising. We'll see. I mean, I think that it's going to be, there's a lag, of course, between rates being increased and then inflation coming down. And what I expect, I mean, it's funny because on the one hand, they're saying, well, you know, it could be good news for borrowers because rates could come down. I'm skeptical about that because it seems to me lenders are actually maintaining bigger mortgages, bigger margins rather. So in other words, whatever the prevailing rate is, the rates that they're charging are much, much higher. And the reason they're much higher is that they're a little bit more reluctant to lend in this market. And so, it's leading to a kind of perfect storm in a way. Very difficult to get good rates. And then again, another article in the Daily Telegraph, NatWest have raised their rates by 0.3% on its 2 and 5 year deals. It will also increase its rates by up to 0.4% on 95% deals, which is fair enough on the 95% ones, I suppose, but hard for first time buyers. Let's if it's not hard enough already. And apart from that, it's just a case of really finding the stock for the available buyers. I had a long chat with a lovely couple yesterday, and they were looking for a nice family home, and we got them out viewing several things over the weekend. And that, as an agent, becomes our job in a more difficult market. If we had the perfect balance of stock for sale and buyers looking, then we'd all be gazillionaires. In fact, the reality is that there's always a problem. It's just one way or the other. On the one hand, when the market's flying, we have this problem of loads of people looking, but not that much available because everyone's scrambling to get what's available. And then in a tougher market, we can have the opposite problem of plenty of stock out there, but not the buyers to take up the slack. In today's market, it's a bit of a mix of the two, because on the one hand, we do still have some buyers looking, by no means in vast numbers, but we also have the added problem of not that much stock available. So it's a really strange combination. And what it requires, unlike markets in the past few years, is an agent that will understand the needs of the buyer and then imagine what they've got in their head in terms of what their needs and requirements are, and then hopefully allocate those people to the right kind of property for their needs. And then you build trust with the applicants, and then they're more likely to find, and most importantly, they'll view more stock from the agent that's having those discussions with them, because they're asking the right questions, such as, how are you moving? How long you've been looking? What's the best one you've seen? Why are you moving? That's the big one. If you know the motivation of the buyer, then you can start to work towards helping them to find a home that's right for them. So that's it for today. Weather-wise, it's kind of overcast, but not too cold. It's quite mild, but no sunshine as yet. Hopefully it'll brighten up. Weather forecast is for showers a little bit later. A bit frustrating, I know, in the middle of July, but there we are. Peak holiday time as well, and with a rail strike. So what do? It's just one of those things. So I hope you have a great day, and we'll be back same time tomorrow with another edition. Till then, look after yourselves, and if you can, your family and friends. Ciao.